Wow, we have 0 people watching us according to the gauge here on the top left. So
Weird.
yeah, it's you and I. We're just hanging out.
We're just hanging out, having a cup of coffee. Two guys talking about mountain climbing. Happens all the time.
Yeah, as we do. Absolutely. Okay,
Right.
let me see. Do we have a minute? Oh, 121 of you shut up. Where
They
have
were
you been? You
they
guys
were
are
on a
late.
bus. They were in a bus, Hunley.
Apparently, I don't know.
They showed up in the same bus.
Jeez, they're late. I don't know.
These are all your friends. These are the mountain climbing kids.
Well, they thought we were going to be with Ricada or something, so they were like, "Yeah, you know what? We'll just get there eventually."
What?
I don't know. All right, so on this episode, we are moving back into something just kind of a lighter fare, meaning Mark's crazy life, essentially. That might as well be the playlist.
It's light to you. You didn't have to go through it.
Well, that's true. I get to live vicariously through your past. And literally have a playlist called Mark's Crazy Life. I don't know. That sounds like what I'll do. And then Friday it'll be back to Kennedy, and I don't know when we're doing our buddy Baldwin, but we'll get there. We'll get there. We can't even figure out which day we're going to do fun day. I mean, this would be a fun Friday, but it's a fun Tuesday.
Well, Friday we're going to do George de Mohrenschildt, who is a great character in the JFK folklore, and his wife. Don't forget his wife, Jean de Mohrenschildt. These two are fascinating characters. Let me just put it that way.
Starting with their name. It's not
well, he's a baron. He's actually a baron from Russia. So we'll get into his nobility. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes. Father was a noble, and he was a baron. And this will all be explored on Friday. How he got to get involved in this case.
All right, perfect. And we are also live on Rumble. I double checked it. Yep. One person watching. I think
on Rumble by themselves?
Yeah, I think it's me.
Imagine there's like the one guy, he's sitting there with a thing of popcorn going, this is great. I love Rumble. I'm all alone. All alone.
Oh, yeah. Well, I do want it to catch on. It's a matter of, with the whole Rumble thing, because we'll see it in the chat a lot, especially when Eric's griping about YouTube. And I hear it. It's like, well, you need to get on Rumble. It's like,
you need to get on Rumble.
Yeah, I'm there. Where are you at?
Where are you at, mother?
You're on YouTube telling me to get on Rumble. So,
well, one of the reasons I wanted to do this episode is because we're getting towards July 4th. I wanted to celebrate the outdoors. I wanted to celebrate Americana. I wanted to go back in a time when we weren't living in this crazy period. I wanted to show you the beauty of the United States in this episode and what it's like to actually explore and enjoy the outdoors, because we're coming up into summer, Eric. So I thought this would be a great time, July 4th coming up. Of course, the gas prices will be $100 a gallon. So
he's trying.
You're going to have to use bicycles to get to the Grand Canyon, but nevertheless,
well, we'll get healthy.
Well, I think America is collectively going to lose a lot of weight. I mean, this might be the only part of the equation that's helpful. The lack of food is our dilemma now. So,
yeah, we're going to either be biking or doing the Forrest Gump.
Yeah, right. Yeah, look, electric cars have to be plugged in. I got a feeling that shop owners and places that have plugs are not going to be. Remember when you used to get air for your bicycle for free?
Oh yeah, well yeah.
As a kid, you used to just
like air.
Get some air, Mr. Johnson. Right now, it's $1.50 across the street to get air. That's what's going to happen with plug-in vehicles. They're going to go, hey, it's $20, bro. Well, what about gas? No, we don't need gas.
Oh,
I don't even know what rubble is. You don't need rubble, Miss Wilson. This is working out just fine. Anyway, let me just set up this story before we get lost in the camping stuff. I was living in Manhattan with my girlfriend, and for 2 years she was hawking me to go climb this mountain. Remember to subscribe. That's a good one, Hunley. Good timing. She was hawking me to go to Wyoming to climb the Grand Teton mountain, and I just said, "What do I know about climbing mountains? I'm from Brooklyn." So, but she was from Minnesota, so she was more of an outdoorsy type, than I was. But finally, I gave up and I went down to Mountain Sports, which I think may still be there. I don't know. It's on Union Square. It's like the hiking camping store in Manhattan. And I spent like $1 billion. I bought every single stupid thing they had because I didn't know what I was getting into, Eric. I bought the climbing chute. There's Judy. Yeah, she made me do it. So we were living in Manhattan Plaza, I think, at the time on 43rd Street. So I go down there and I buy $80 billion worth of crap to go mountain climbing. And we take her son. I think her sister came also, if I recall. And so we went on the plane. When we went to go on the plane, I think they jettisoned half of the crap. They just said, it's too much. Like, this is not getting on board. You know, we had all kinds of crazy stuff going on there. And then when you go to fly into that airport, you begin to lose your lunch, because the airport in Jackson Hole, if many of you, if you've ever flown into Jackson Hole, Wyoming, it is a straight descent where you like literally have to come over the top of the mountain peak and then land on a dime. And you almost lose your lunch when you land in Jackson Hole, if anybody's ever done this. The takeoff's even crazier. The takeoff is go down runway, pull straight up, avoid mountain. I'm not kidding. And you just go, please, God. And the mountain's like an inch from your window.
So you want a Harrier. You need a Harrier jet, essentially. So you
yeah, you need a jump jet. You need a British Harrier jump jet, right? But they have a smaller jet. I mean, it's a commercial airlines, but whatever the smallest one is, a DC-8 or something, and it just goes straight up at the front of the mountain. It's really terrifying. But landing, not as terrifying, but still crazy. So what we did was we went camping at a place called Jenny Lake, and Jenny Lake is in the shadow of Mount Moran, which is a pretty big peak right there in the Grand Teton mountain range, right outside of Jackson. Now, this is between Jackson Hole. Yeah, just look at that. That's Jenny Lake. Just look how crazy that is, folks. That's unbelievable. It's freezing cold, even in the summer, of course, but there's a campsite right there on Jenny Lake. I think it's called Jenny Lake Campsite, as a matter of fact. And it's kind of between the town and Yosemite, you know, going towards the Grand Canyon. It may actually technically be in the Yosemite National Park. I'm not sure. But it's, look, there's bison everywhere. It's kind of crazy. And once you see all those bison together, like running, like 150 of them, Eric, you think you've gone into Jurassic Park. Because I had never seen it before. I mean, I didn't see anything that large other than maybe a bear.
Can you mention the Old West? Because they were like 1,000 head. And just
yeah, I mean, there's quite a few there around Jackson Hole, you know, and they're running around kind of loose. I mean, I don't know what, you know, who takes care of them, but I guess they take care of themselves. But we had to go to a mountain climbing school. This was part of a group called EXUM, EXXUM, which is named after one of the first guys to scale the Grand Teton. By the way, the Grand Teton, in case anybody's curious as to what that means giant tit in French. and no, I swear to God. And it was explored first by the French, and the guy, of course, called it a giant tit. And it looks, I hate to say this, but it looks like a giant tit. And the French guy was not that far off. If you have a picture of the Grand Teton by itself, it's like 13,000 feet, almost 14,000 feet straight up. It's one of the highest mountains in the United States. I think it might be second in Wyoming, but it might be fourth in the country or something. But
I'm not sure if this is it.
Yeah, that is it from looking down. Yeah, that's a weird shot. Yeah, that's from a helicopter. Wow.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, there's a guy, right? We're going to get to that. I did that. That's exactly what I did. Yelling the entire way up at God, yelling, and if God would get me off of this effing mountain, I will never do this again. I said that 50,000 times. And I kept that deal with God. I kept that deal with God from 1991 to today, that I would never climb another mountain as long as I lived if he got me off of there. So we go to this climbing school for 2 days to learn how to rappel and get a harness and belay and do all of these things. I have no idea what's going on. And I'm with my girlfriend's son. Her and her sister fail mountain climbing school and go up the back way on a donkey. Okay, they had it made. They went on a donkey on the back way. This is like when you get to the base lodge, not the base, but you get to the bottom of the ascent, you hike to this for a day. And they've got, this is now, back then they had these quonset huts like you had in the Army, Eric. You know, they had those metal, you know, the metal round huts. This looks like they've improved it quite a bit. But inside, if you want to take a look at some of the photos I gave you, what's inside there, we had to hike to this, which took a day across a valley. And this, first of all, this is after 2 days of learning how to mountain climb, right?
You mean like your restaurant here? Or?
Yeah, that's the restaurant that's inside. Yeah, you can't bring everything's got to be powdered. Everything you bring with you is powdered. So it's powdered soup, powdered this, powdered that. There's no canned food. There's no cans left behind. There's no salami sandwiches in a bag. It's just boiled water. You each get a mug, and whatever you can hold down that's your meal and dinner and breakfast and everything else. So in climbing school, there was a really very heavy guy who turned out to be the state Democratic chairman of Utah. And this guy had a big mouth. He was trying to convert people. I don't know what he was doing. Anyway, he was in the harness, and he was so top heavy that he flipped over and his little legs were going like this in midair, yelling, "Help me, help me." So he failed climbing school as well.
So you called him Turtle?
He would look like a turtle, right? He was an upside down, just like the 2 legs in the harness. He didn't make it. He went up with my girlfriend and her sister on the donkey on the back. And I think he killed the donkey on top of that, but the guy was pretty big. So anyway, so we learned this stuff in climbing school, which is really foreign to me. But, I said, they guaranteed me that I could learn this. And you paid a fortune for the experience, by the way. This is not cheap. I wasn't really happy about that. But once you begin the ascent doesn't start till you get to that hut. You hike to that hut. That takes a day. And then I thought, hey, this is pretty easy. What could go wrong? I'm in a hut. Okay. So at 3:00 in the morning, the guy, there's a picture of a guy reading a newspaper in the hut. I don't know if you see that one there. He says it says checking his stock market.
Yeah, I'm working on it. Checking
okay.
Stocks.
That guy's the guide, right? That guy, right. He's the guide. And he's hiked the Himalayas. He looks young, but I think he was like 80 at the time. And he's reading the paper. He couldn't care less, right? So at 3:00 in the morning, this guy wakes you up and says, time to begin the ascent. And you go, what? And you go, it's pitch black out. How are we going to see how we're climbing? You know what I mean? It's pitch dark. And he says, well, it takes a long time. We have to start in the middle of the night to get down during daylight the next day, I guess. And I said, if you would have told me that, I never would have signed up for this crap. And he said, I know. That's why we do it this way. Look, here I am. Look how happy I am to begin this. Look at me. That's how happy I was to begin this ascent of a 13,000-foot mountain at 3:00 in the morning. So,
of course, so you do want the guy that is so relaxed he's reading the Wall Street Journal.
Right. He couldn't care less. The guy's talking about the Himalaya, stuff like that. So who is with me in this group? There's like a Navy SEAL. There's a Green Beret. There's a guy from the Navy Special Forces. There's this guy who whatever his angle was from Texas. This group in there were the best and the brightest that mostly the armed services had. And then they had me. And I'm going like, how did I get roped in with these people on this trip?
Well, here's
this guy. This was the gay guy. He got roped in on it somehow. I think he fell to his death. I'm not sure whatever happened to him, but you get up to the first precipice in complete darkness, and it's literally 3 inches wide. Your back is against the wall. Your back is against the mountain. It's a 3-inch or 6-inch precipice called Wall Street. And everyone's roped together looking down. Me, the Navy SEAL, the Green Beret, the Ranger, we're all roped together. The guide, all of a sudden there's a rock that juts straight out into midair. And he kind of hugs it and goes around this giant jutting rock in total darkness. And we're all looking at this guy. We're roped together. And he goes around this rock, holding onto it for dear life. And from the other side, we hear, okay, who's next?
And you're looking at each other.
Everybody, but we know that if one of us goes down, we're all going down, Eric. We're all.
You see, that's the way you establish good relationships.
Right.
You know, put fighting couples
guys.
together.
Eric, I bonded with these guys pretty quickly, and we all looked at each other like, okay, who's next? But this is literally an hour into the ascent, and you're half asleep. It's pitch black out, and it's listed in the book as one of the 50th most dangerous hikes in North America. And that's
not a hike, damn it.
I don't mean hike, whatever you want to call it. Not a hike. The 50th, most dangerous ascent, And this thing, I looked at this, I go, God, please get me out of here, please. And you can't go back because you're roped together with these guys. There's nowhere to go. You're dead. And my girlfriend's kid, he was about, I would say like 15 at the time, big strapping guy. He's going, hey, this is great, bro. He was all excited about it. And I thought, yeah, that's him. That's my my girlfriend's son. That was a little later on. Another area of the mountain where you have to literally do what those bighorn sheep we were talking about did when they run up the side, Eric. Those bighorn sheep were around, and you'll have to use that to belay your way up there to the top, which I did with him and everybody else. But hugging that rock to go around on that Wall Street precipice was the scariest thing I ever did in my life. And I thought for sure there's no way. It didn't seem like you could make it. It didn't seem like you could get a foot on the other side of it. And yet somehow I think there was 7 of us together who did it. And then.
Do you ever think about this stuff and say, who was the first asshole who thought, let me go hug a rock and go to the other side and see if I can go?
Well, these explorers, these guys who are, famous.
Not right in the head.
Not right in the head. Yeah, this guy was not right in the head. I'll tell you that he seemed to be angry that he was a guide. Like he wanted to go back to the Himalayas. This guy, yeah, here he is. Yeah. He was in great shape. I mean, the guy, he did this every other day, this guy, and he lived a wonderful life. But he was telling me about doing this and Kilimanjaro and the Himalayas. And this was bullshit that he had to do this for a paycheck. You know what I mean? It was a typical guy upset that he had this stupid day job, but
because he has to deal with a bunch of tourists.
Right. I understand. But the tourists were really killers who were in the armed services. You know what I mean? Like the regular tourist, I don't understand. I was in pretty good shape at the time, but the rest of them were not. And they got caught.
Yeah, they look like killers.
Yeah. This girl, she was somehow in the circus or something. She was like a trapeze artist and a painting artist. And all the way up, she wanted to stop and paint pictures. I think that was her boyfriend, the poor guy.
Could be. I don't know.
So eventually, we reached the top of this mountain, and there's a little, I think, like a copper or gold thing embedded on top of the hill. And they give you a certificate once you get to the top of the hill. And the certificate is, that you made it, but that's from the school at the end. You get the certificate at the very end. But that's at the end. But there's a little plaque that's embedded in the mountain itself. I don't know if there's a picture of my face next to it, Eric.
Yeah.
If you see that, that's that.
But that expression is saying, I'm not leaving.
Yeah, no.
I'm here. I'm staying.
I was very happy to stay up there the rest of my life. But the most fun I learned from the experiences to rappel down 13,900 feet of rappelling. And that is a lot of fun. Once you learn how to rappel, which I was taught in the school, how to rappel, when you first go to do it, you're scared shitless because you literally have to walk out backwards onto the mountain and put your feet somewhere and then starts springing off of the cliff. You know what I mean? It's a little off-putting, you know what I mean, when you're first starting to do it. And then I was about halfway down, yelling, wee, and all this stuff. And then these guys met me halfway, the guys who live there, and they did not want me to go any further, these guys. And they were very unhappy that I was, rappelling and sliding down their mountain where they lived. And they kind of let me know it. I don't know if you have a picture of these two guys.
They look kind of crabby.
They were upset. They were really upset, these two guys. And then they had these two guys were waiting for me, and they were right below my tuchus, and I had to climb up a little more and try. And they just were stubborn, Eric. They were going to ram me with those horns, and they had a father who was there. I don't have a picture of their dad, and I think he was directing them. The dad, he was very embittered. Yeah, there's the dad. He didn't want any part of me having fun that day on his territory. And they were trying to jump up with their hind legs and hit me in the ass with those horns. And I just said, this wasn't in the school. I don't know how they didn't tell me this in school. And somehow, well, they lived there, right? Look, I did not have an argument with them. They were very upset that I was there. And I don't blame them. You know, I mean, who wants this guy in your backyard? And so anyway, I kind of went up a couple of times, and then eventually they kind of walked off a little bit, and I quickly rappelled past them. And I thought in my mind that their horns were going to get hooked on the rope and they were going to pull me up or something. You know, it was some weird thing I thought was going to happen, but it didn't happen. And I was able to get down onto the ground. And when I got down on the ground, it was like Neil Armstrong landing on the moon. I just said, God, thank you. I will never attempt that again. Thank you, God. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you for getting me down. I am never doing that as long as I live. And I said that to the guy. I think when they gave me the certificate the next day, they print it up and you're supposed to come back and pick up that thing you showed from the Exum school. And I just said, dude, you are never seeing me again. Here it is. Just in case anybody doubts that I'm full of shit. I got this thing and it says 13,000 something feet, right? August 8th, what, 1990? Is that the year there?
Yeah, 1990. Oops.
Right. So I said to the guy, you are never going to see me again. You're never going to. And he goes, no, come back. You'll come back next summer. Everybody says that. I said, listen to me. I am never coming back. I know this. He goes, yeah, they all say that. I go, no. I just want to be perfectly clear. Look at this face. Never coming back to your school again. I mean, I'm going to go camping, but I ain't doing this. So
you're going to go skydiving next.
No, that's out. Because I did the climbing, I'm not doing skydiving. But that being said, I'd be the first guy to jump out of a plane if it was going down. I just don't want to, push fate. So anyway, so just to show you where we were camping, I think we might have some photos or some videos to show you around Jenny Lake when we went back home to the camping area. You could see maybe our setup there around the lake. Let me see.
Campground?
The campground, yeah, if you see a little bit of that. There's my girlfriend, Judy.
The one who talked you into doing the whole thing, but didn't actually.
Yeah, she had a great time. Yeah, she went on a donkey. She said, "How was it?" And my nerves were shot, and that was it. But she didn't care. She got what she wanted. Yeah, you get to camp right on the lake, Eric. I mean, the campsite is right on the lake, which is great. It's very windy out there, but anyway, it's a great spot. I don't know what else you got there. Some of these animals that we ran into, if you could show some of the animals. I mean,
sure, I will too. This is the mountain.
This is Mount Moran. Right. You could see that one. That's a little bit flatter. It's not as peaky. They don't call that one the Big Tit. I think that's the Big Tit on the left, but it's in the clouds.
It's in the clouds. So
yeah. That's the Grand Teton.
Yeah.
Spectacular, absolutely spectacular. I recommend it for everybody to get out there before they take it away or do something to it. What else you got there? Let's see.
Got a bison car encounter.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so there's bison everywhere. They're on the roads. This guy's taking a leak. This bison.
Up so we can get him.
Yeah, the guy backs up. He's going to pick him up as a hitchhiker.
Looked like that truck was going to nudge him off. Like, get the hell out of my way.
Right. Okay, so there was a guy in a Volkswagen Bug. and we were up on this hill overlooking the Bison. We're looking at these elk, which you're going to see in a couple of seconds. And he's looking down. We're looking down on this guy. He gets out of the VW bug with a camcorder, and he starts filming the thing from 5 feet away. So the thing turns around, looks at him, and starts moving towards him. He gets back in the Volkswagen bug, and the Bison begins to use its horns to lift it up off the ground. While the guy, this black dude, is yelling out the window, "Save me! Somebody save me!" And it's lifting the VW bug off the ground with its horns, and the guy's screaming for help. Well, because he had to get out of the car and annoy it, thinking it's just
brain trust. I mean,
thinking it's just some it's like talking to a dinosaur. You know what I mean?
Well, the thing is that it's weird with them because if you stay in the car, they don't understand cars. Mm-hmm. Cars, they're not normal in nature, right. And you literally can be invisible to them because they don't smell you or anything, and they're fine. But then when you get out, they're like, "What the hell is that?" And it scares them because it's almost like an invisibility cloak that you have on, and all of a sudden you magically appear, and they're like, "Whoa, where'd you come from?" Right. It's kind of freaky.
Well, I mean, we went up above with the elk. I don't know if you could see the one on the top there. These elk were just laying in the field.
Yeah.
Check this out. I mean, you literally walk up and touch them. And I think there's a shot of my girlfriend is going to enter the frame. It's just unbelievable. You're 2 feet away.
No, they're in a protected area, so they're used to people.
Yeah.
This is a place where the trash cans all have combos and things for the bears.
Oh, yeah. It's okay. We looked. That's one. There was another one with the elk. Was there another one there?
It's coming. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Look how beautiful that is. Look at that. Here she comes into it. She's going to stand right in front of it, Judy. I mean, there's some distance obviously there, but it's like. She does the international sign of the elk, I think, which goes back Stone Age.
All right.
Oh yeah, you're gonna see.
I want another big creature here.
Okay, what do you got now? Oh, that's the varmints. Look at these. These guys are so cute.
They're chipmunks, aren't they?
They're not. They're not chipmunks. They're in the chipmunk family, obviously. But they're called varmints. I don't know. They're a type of mountain chipmunk. It's a little different. They're a little.
I thought all small ratty creatures were varmints. Now I'm confused.
Well, I mean, the squirrel is not a chipmunk, right? They're not the same. I think these have their own name or something.
Could be. I don't know.
Okay, yeah, I don't know their actual name. Oh, here's another bison shot. This is good. Look at the size of this thing, Eric. Look at this. I mean, it's like, what is that? 5,000 pounds of beef, buffalo,
like 1,000 and change.
Okay.
They're very, very huge.
Oh, that was a good one. We could get into maybe Old Faithful now if you want to see a little bit about Old Faithful. Yeah, look at this thing. This is the actual, obviously people know what Old Faithful is, but just so people who haven't seen it, Old Faithful guys, I put that up. That helps. Is everybody waiting? I think it's every 11 minutes or something, or a little bit longer, right?
I want to say 15, but
right.
But
they put a sign up. They actually put a sign that says 11:40. Next time it's going to blow, they put a sign up and people gather around. I don't know. I think there's a longer one of that. Here, yeah, this one, yeah. It's quite spectacular when you see it. I mean, it's really amazing. I mean, there's plenty of geysers all through Yellowstone, smaller ones and a couple of bigger ones, but this is before it blows, I think.
This is one of those spectacles, though, that's hard to capture on film to really to feel the power and presence of it. It's like every time I see that kind of thing and I look at the pictures, I'm like, that's not really it. You don't feel that. That's
well, you actually feel the ground also because it's underneath you. You know what I mean? It's you feel everything. The spray. Yellowstone blows. Yeah, this is it blowing right now, Dan. I don't know if this is still the same setup, but they did back then. They didn't have fences or gates or anything. You know, look at this. Looks like a nuclear bomb went off. That was a good one.
Yeah, it's powerful for sure.
Right. What's in the upper left-hand corner there? What is that with a building?
Oh yeah, that's another thing. I'm going through the rest of nature, and then
we'll okay, yeah.
The entertainment.
Oh yeah, this is Yellowstone Falls. This is quite insane. This is quite spectacular. We went and took a boat in the Snake River. You take one of those giant inflatable boats with a bunch of people in it, and the kids who run it at some point in the Snake River jump overboard, leaving the boat for itself as a prank. And it's, you know, a local prank. The guides jump overboards. I don't know. We were doing holiday picks today. I'm sorry, I don't understand. But
they don't know the show that we occasionally slip into life.
Right. So anyway, when you're on the Snake River, the kids jump off the boat at a pre-selected time, leaving it by itself. It's kind of a slow period in the river. So there was a family on board with us from New Jersey that panicked. They just started screaming, you know, man overboard, save us. And the boat is going down the river, but they catch up to it, the kids, and they, you know, climb back on board and, you know, navigate you to safety through the rapids on the Snake River, which is another great adventure if you're looking for something to do this summer. The Snake River boat trip is fantastic, absolutely fantastic. I think Harrison Ford's from Jackson Hole, by the way.
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be.
It's the only celebrity I know who's from Jackson Hole. But I mean, the skiing in the winter is really what puts them on the map.
No, Dick Cheney.
Oh, that's right. He's from there? Is he from Casper? I think it's from Casper.
Oh, you know what? You might be right.
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 I don't know. His daughter's from Hell, Wyoming, which is a small town near Casper.
All right. Let me see. We have one more. I think this.
Oh, these are the elk in the woods. Yeah, this is kind of interesting. Inspiration Point. Yeah. I literally assembled these for Hunley this morning, so I didn't. I literally went back into the archives and found this footage this morning, half asleep for Eric. Look at this. Amazing. I've been there a few times, so it wasn't the only trip. I think this might have been the first time or the second time.
You just didn't bother with the climbing next time.
I never did the climbing again. As I said, the camping I love. Going to meet these animals is like being in, some sort of a jungle safari. The fact that they're just running loose is great.
Right. Now we do have to. We have a bit of an homage to Baldwin here.
Oh yes, that's right. Here's one of Baldwin's earlier work.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
He didn't pull the trigger there, Eric. And a civilian was killed. See that? Okay, so that's in Jackson Hole, and that's right outside the Silver Dollar Bar, which isn't like the town square, but the Silver Dollar Bar has saddles instead of bar stools, Eric. And the Silver Dollars. This guy's great. This is a guy who interacts with all the people, asking them where they're from and shit. He's kind of cool.
You from Rhode Island, sir? Where are you from? New York City. New York.
That's you.
Yeah. Look at this guy. These are all actors, of course, in Jackson Hole putting this on. Everybody loves this. Watch this little kid. Watch this little kid do the twirl. Look at that. Look at that little kid. Tell me that's not precious. Isn't that great? And then they have like a whole Mark's past. I'm happy to see a picture of Bigfoot. No, well, we're going to go look for the Mothman, and then we'll get to Bigfoot. We'll get him. Don't worry, bro. Just keep PayPaling for the fun. Okay, so then there's like an archway of antlers there, that you saw. And let's see what this is here.
This is the gunplay.
Oh, right. There's Baldwin and his brother. I was the first discharge. I think Seth Kenny was involved in that. That is Seth Kenny. Wait a minute. Okay, well, that's a good exercise on how not to use blanks, I guess, Eric, right?
There you go.
There's a funny little thing where they... Oh, here comes the stagecoach. This is kind of cool because there's a girl on there who gets kidnapped later. Very good, Willie. Very good. That's Hot Lil. She gets taken hostage in the plot. And it's a whole movie plot that they put out there on the street. Anyway, the kids go crazy over this thing, and I don't know if they still have it. I mean, this went on for years, this shootout. There used to be one back east that did the same thing called Cimarron City. We used to go as kids, where they had a Western shootout like this, and they put you in the jail, and the whole. It
goes back to Buffalo Bill and the Wild West show.
Right, exactly.
Kind of continuing that
right. That Sideshow Bill that was on The Simpsons. Is that where he was? Sideshow Bill?
Could be, yeah.
Could be, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that's in Jackson Hole itself, and there's all kinds of shops and stores there. But the place is so spectacular and beautiful that I urge everyone to get out this summer and try to enjoy America before they take it away from us. And I don't know how you're going to get there.
Yeah, just don't drive too far.
Bring canisters of gas strapped to your roof if you have to. I mean, you may have to go complete Rommel the Desert Fox at this point to get.
Watch out for Baldwin.
Oh, there's with Baldwin here. There's a photo of Baldwin.
He's kidnapping.
He's kidnapping one of the civilians. Yeah, I think that's Millie, the script supervisor.
So yeah, make sure you just stay in the right part of town.
Yeah, there's a dangerous part of Jackson Hole. Anyway, I mean, it could be a wonderful summer if you do certain things and take certain precautions and don't spend too much money. I mean,
and they have luxury.
Oh yeah, this was the wonderful commode we had to go in before we began the ascent. That was the bathroom facilities at the bottom of the Grand Teton. Not sure I forget what was in there, but you could use your own imagination.
Wow. No, that's. I hope everybody does manage to do that. And
well, you're from Arizona, so I assume you've explored some parts of Arizona like that, right? Or
yeah, I mean Mount Lemmon, hiking up there,
right,
that type of thing.
I mean, for me to come from Brooklyn to go there, it just blew my mind. That when you're a city kid and you go out there, it's just like, holy cow, what the hell is this? But if you're from the West, I think you're basically acclimated towards those.
Yeah, it's different because like going to Glacier is very different than.
Oh, you went to Glacier?
Yeah, Glacier National
Park. Okay,
right. But that looks very different than Southern Arizona,
right?
Obviously, and you spent some time in Prescott area, and that's a very different experience.
Yes,
with the deserty mountains.
Absolutely. I mean, Prescott's gorgeous in its own right, but the geography changes so radically as you go a few hundred miles out there, right, Eric? I mean, I guess that's why Teddy Roosevelt created those national parks around 1905 to preserve all these weird. I mean, when they first discovered Yellowstone and saw those geysers and buffalo, I always talked when we were growing up. Me and my brothers always said, "Could you imagine the looks on their faces seeing buffalo?" Okay. And then steam and geysers coming out of the ground. It literally looks like you're on another planet. When you see the field of geysers, it looks like you're in another world. It's otherworldly. But imagine in 1880 seeing that. I mean, you just go, what is this? What am I supposed to write in my diary here that I've stumbled into? You know,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, luckily Teddy Roosevelt preserved all this with the national park idea, but otherwise they would have put condos right there. There's one big lodge that you see in the corner of one of the videos, the Yellowstone Lodge, which is the only thing that's real. I hope so. That's a long time ago, but the Yellowstone Lodge was really the only structure within the park. Now I know they've built it up because I've gone inside of
Yeah, it's still there, I think, because
Okay.
there was a debate on the largest log cabin in the world,
Right.
and that is the largest
right. It is
log
spectacular. It is spectacular. We didn't stay there, you know, but just to go inside of it is unbelievable, you know, and I'm sure in the dead of winter it's great, you know, with the bison roaming around and, you know, just snow everywhere, and then these little pockets of geysers popping up and everything. You know, there's certain places where you can put your feet in, but I'd be really careful because you could get your tootsies burned off right there. And if somebody every year, either their poodle falls in or they get burned from the sulfur and hot things that are in there.
Oh, well, sure. It's as Salty Taggart says. Lo and behold, it's an underground volcano.
It's an underground volcano. And that's what figures in my script, the farm. I was doing research for the farm about it's part of the movie script that I wrote about this underground volcano, which is what the geysers are, and how they were going to blow it and create a seismic rift, like a fault line, expanding the fault line of the United States. And it's part of the plot of the movie script, not to get into it, but I did a lot of research on the possibilities of it happening, and it is possible. I mean, there is a fault line right below Yellowstone.
Hey, your buddy stole our audience.
Hunley couldn't compete with Dr. Drew. I don't know what I missed here. Oh, well, Dr. Drew, I think, is still in the Middle East. At least he told me he was in the Middle East until June 10th. Maybe he's back. But what's today?
He was doing a Clubhouse show or something I saw earlier.
I don't know what he was doing. He told me he couldn't talk to me till June 10th. And I have all kinds of, you know, biology questions. I need Dr. Drew to answer them immediately, which he does. I mean, I come up with crazy questions. He's a walking encyclopedia, Drew. You know,
and you're testing that,
right? My dad and bonus mom are heading out to Mount Rushmore to see the monument before it's demolished. That's very good, Natalie. Very good. Right. Or before they start adding or taking down presidents, you know, whatever they're going to do. Yeah, I urge everyone to get out this summer, which is now upon us. I mean, this is June 7th, Eric? Yesterday was Operation Overlord, and today is June 7th. So, you know, we're getting into summertime. If you could get to Yellowstone, it's an experience you'll never forget. Just don't go up and start touching the buffalo, because
or get to wherever you are. I mean,
yeah.
There's some beautiful parts all around the country, and if there's something in your neck of the woods, that's one thing that's ironic, is a lot of times we live near something and never see it, and we go across the country and go see something else, and it's like,
right. Well, seeing this was across the country for me. So, but I don't know what's nearby to where people live. But I mean, there are state parks and national parks pretty close to a lot of residential areas, you know, and within a couple hours anyway, you know.
Wow. Look at Georgina again. Jeez. You're such a
I love Yellowstone and Star Valley. You know, Mark, it was in the late 90s that 2 guys died in Tetons because they got caught in a blizzard. And wow.
I believe it.
I didn't know that. Yeah, it's dangerous. And let me tell you, there's snow up there. We were up there in the summer. There was snow up there.
Well, Glacier National Park is because there's glaciers year round.
Yeah.
And it is kind of crazy to sit there in July going, well, look at that.
Plus, I mean, the weather is so, you know, clouds can roll in and it starts storming and lightning happens, and it's pretty quick. I mean, it's quite mercurial in the summer there, Eric. You know, big thunder clouds roll in and you're stuck in the rain and lightning.
Definitely.
Oh, that popped up again. I hope they remember to subscribe. I think the subscriptions are going up lately. Maybe this works.
Maybe
this crazy thing. I see the numbers going up lately. Maybe that's all we need is this sign to go up every 5 minutes.
Yeah, we just encourage it. Encourage it.
Well, I think who's ever watching this, unless somebody's just passing by going, what is this guy showing his home movies for? I think the regular viewers kind of have followed us along, for.
Oh yeah, well, they'll get into it or they won't get into it. I mean,
Right.
we do different shows, so
Right.
that's
It's not all murder, death, and disease, folks. I mean, there's a lot of joy out there, and this is part of it.
yes, and it's not always Baldwin.
God,
You know.
thank God.
But don't worry, we're getting back to Kennedy.
Yeah,
on
Friday we'll start killing again. So this is a reprieve between death and destruction and the Baldwin operation. And you know what I'd like to do a show on? The Johnstown flood, which is the second biggest man-made disaster to the World Trade Center.
That was with Henry Frick involved, right?
Yeah, Frick is involved. He had this hunt and fish club and the dam. He wanted his carriage to go above the dam, so they lowered the dam. It's an interesting story. It's kind of like, we'll get into it, but it's like LA Confidential in a way about the water and the dam and the town and their hunting club and everything. And they killed everybody. They killed like 3,000 people in Johnstown.
Yeah, that was a brutal, and it still stands up there to this day. I know.
Yes. Yeah, we should do an episode on that because I think there might be some untold parts of it.
I don't know if that's ever going to happen. Elliot Smith Part 2. We'll eventually get. We've got an interview. But that's going to kind of be cut up. And
what did we want to put in Part 2 anyway? What was supposed to be in Part 2?
Well, we did the lead up to his dying. We haven't gone into the questions.
Oh,
so the most exciting stuff is actually kind of still out there,
right?
Or the
where did we leave off?
We left off with our video getting taken down because of copyright strikes.
Oh,
and
that's
the channel
why.
getting taken down by the copyright
Right.
strikes, and that's why there's multiple.
Right. Okay.
channels.
Well, we could go back into that. There's no problem now, right? I mean, we can.
Well, no, because I just won't. I won't share that footage. We'll go through the coroner's report and everything else.
Oh, tough guy, huh? Okay, I'm with you. All right.
Well, I mean, we have the footage out there. People can watch it. It's there.
Right.
It was all restored. We won the 3 strikes that took out the whole channel.
We won.
Then when we bundled them together and was struck again by the same assholes, we won that. So every instance of it is still available for everyone.
But we could still go over the coroner's report without that, right? Or
yeah, the coroner's report. Yeah, we could go over that.
Right. Okay, why don't we do an episode of that? We just go over the coroner's report because there's a lot of meat on that bone.
And I'll see if I can cut up the interview that we have
with the French girl, or
or maybe I'll just put that on Locals and
you just put that on Locals. That was a tough. She had a tough time with English, I think.
Her English.
Well, no, she is French. I mean, it was just tough to understand her at times, But we could put up subtitles. We could put up some subtitles. We have a French guest, and we put up subtitles. It'd be like a French crime thriller.
Yeah. Let's see. What's your opinion of James DeGenio? You like the guy, right?
He's brilliant, dude. The guy's a genius. He's a little harsh, but a lot of those researchers are harsh. I think he teaches history down in San Diego as a day job. But dude, he's probably the top guy in the country. Let me just put it that way. I don't agree with all of his opinions.
He's Oliver's your main source, isn't he?
Not his main source, but a source for Destiny Betrayed, which is Jim's book and the name of the recent documentary. Okay. But I mean, the main source originally was Garrison and Mars there for the movie, and DiEugenio wrote the doc, and a lot of it is from his book Destiny Betrayed. So he knows more than anybody, or as much as anybody. Let me put it that way. DiEugenio.
We were not talking about Jonestown, but we may talk about Jonestown. That has come up as a possible show.
We're talking about the Johnstown.
The Johnstown.
You're French, so we have to really enunciate the Johnstown flood, not Jonestown. It's two separate disasters.
Actually, I don't know if Jonestown would work because
it's not American. It
took place in Guyana. Yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, it is Americans involved and American congressmen, and but we probably won't because it was.
That's on the cusp. I'd say we're really desperate. We'll go Jim Jones. I mean, he starts out in the Midwest. He comes to San Francisco. I mean, there is an American angle to this story for sure. I mean, he's being hassled, which is why he leaves San Francisco with hundreds and hundreds of his followers, mostly African American, oddly enough.
We've got to dial up Hollywood Henderson before too long.
Oh, we do?
Well, I don't know. It just seems like a fun one.
Oh, Hollywood Henderson will be great because that's a real piece of Americana. The linebacker. What's your opinion of the Eric Hundley guy? You know, you can take him or leave him. It's a taste that's developed over the year. You know,
it's a tolerance.
It's a
not
tolerance.
even a taste. It's like
I didn't like snails at first either, but then I learned to love snails. You know,
overexposure. It either becomes tolerable or becomes an allergy.
Right. It's one or the other. Now he's like family, so it's like, you know how your family is. You could take him. You know,
you can take him. You can't leave him though. No.
Oh Jesus.
All right. Well, speaking of family, I saw that somebody got a stuffed dog. America's Untold Stories.
Come on.
Little toy dog.
Really?
Yes.
What does it look like? I haven't seen what it looks like. Do you have a picture of it?
You know what? Let me go pull that up. Well,
I don't know what the bear looks like or the dog or
you entertain everyone. Let me see.
All I know is the hat and the bag and the T-shirt and these stickers now that Huntley sent me. Look at these stickers. I'm putting them all around Hollywood. I'll probably get arrested by the Marxist police here for something.
Okay, well, come on.
Today's election day in LA, by the way.
Okay,
Or primary election day.
All right, we have all kinds of stuff that's available now.
Oh my!
This is a view from the back.
Oh, I've got the pins too. Is that one of the pins?
No, the pins are something I've sent on the side that it's like give out.
Okay, I like that bucket hat. That's what I'm going to get next. Oh, there's the bear.
Yeah, we got teddy bear. We got a little dog. Somebody got the dog, which is cool. We've got aprons, artisan apron, camper mugs. There's all kinds of stuff. Matter of fact, there can be other stuff I just didn't.
What's that light blue shirt there in the top? What was that?
This is the performance wicking. It's for like running, things like that. It absorbs sweat.
Wow. Oh,
I don't even have it all turned on because it would just overwhelm. But here's the unisex baseball T-shirt.
Oh, let me see. Can you blow that up? It's unisex?
Yeah.
Oh, I would get that.
Okay, well, it's here. They've got pajamas.
Pajamas? Are you kidding me?
I don't have it all turned on. It's kind of like I should get feedback from people. What do you like? What do you want?
What's that rainbow one? Hold on, go up. What was that tie-dye?
Tie-dye.
No. Hundley, that's the best. That's that. I got to get that one. That's for all the deadheads out there. That's great. We got to get that, deadheads. Let's go. Let's go.
There, I turned that on then.
Let's get it for Jerry Garcia.
Anyway, all kinds of stuff is out there. More to come. Turn things on and off.
Wow.
Nice computer backpack. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Actually,
is that bulletproof?
Probably not.
Probably not. Yeah.
You get a full duffel bag.
But you can use it to go camping in Yellowstone.
We got a tote bag.
Tote bag, you could take some of your stuff to Yellowstone.
Yeah. Lots of stuff. Anyway, I don't want to pitch it too hard and too long. But
no, I didn't know that was there. That's fantastic.
A lot of options. Just dig deeper. We've definitely got different things.
Wow.
We have locals. We got 500 people with us right now. 500.
Wait a second. There's 500 members of locals?
No. There's in terms of locals,
for us,
there's about 5,800 followers, over 700 supporting us now.
I put up a lot of JFK stuff this week. I don't know if people are looking at it or not, but I went inside the belly of the beast.
And your book is there for free.
Which book? Oh, the Rehab Nation book. Yeah, that's cool. But I also put up some scripts, I think, that were for free also. I put up the recruit script. But the stuff I put up about the assassination, people might want to take a look at that. All these people who, I don't know, there's some nuts out there who still believe Oswald acted alone. They've become the nuts. It's complete. The script is completely flipped now. Anyone who comes up to you and says Oswald acted alone, you just go, whoop, nut job. I mean, it's completely gone the other way. You just go wacko, But I put up some good videos, some Mark Lane stuff, and some documentary evidence, and some documents. Operation Northwoods, I put up the original documentation of how we plan to shoot down airliners to blame on the Cubans so we could invade. Wonderful stuff. Wonderful stuff.
Oh, Etienne de Gaulle is fully American.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was his nom de plume. Oh, I'm very sorry. I thought you were a frog. Well, welcome, Texas. I'm glad his name is really
keep it American.
It's really Tex Watson. His real name is Tex Watson.
Oh yeah, there you go.
He's writing us from prison.
We won't be doing that story.
Aboard. Have you heard about the CIA using the Ringling Brothers trains? I'm a retired clown.
Whoa.
And saw some shit. Well, look, as I said many times, the CIA used any travel organization in America or internationally as a cover. That includes National Geographic photographers. That includes Vice today. If people want to know if Vice is CIA, you could take that to the bank. That includes Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus with the trains. Anything that traveled, they embedded people, including journalists, of course, putting them in harm's way.
Wow. And by the way, clowns, that's something I don't know a lot about, but it's fascinating because I know there's a whole, clown school that it is not an easy trade to get into. And Penn and Teller or Penn Jillette, I believe, went to clown school.
Right.
And that's where he started the magic and everything. So that's fascinating that you got that.
Wow. I like that. Eric gets nervous when he starts sweating. That's right, Derek. It's really we're using
that's why you have to get that shirt. You see,
we're using the galvanic
shirt.
skin response on him. He's wired up right now, and it's going off the charts as soon as you mention that. It's like Pavlov's dog. Jack Ruby, do I look gay to you? Shirt. That's funny. That's funny. I'd love to have that shirt. Not wearing it, but I'd like to give it.
We could make. I mean, it can be made. Just have the graphics.
That would be a great shirt with Ruby on it, like a silhouette, even with the hat.
Yeah, it would have to have that. I mean, it have to be a quote or something because I just am like
a silhouette of Ruby. You mean, or
I don't know, or just his face, or
This friend of mine in the 90s made a silhouette of Ruby, and instead of the gun, he inserted a Fender Telecaster, and he was jabbing Oswald in the stomach with it. And it fit right in. It was brilliant. Brilliant.
I love it. I love it like he was jamming. Okay, so, I guess we've got the most important elements. We want everybody to remember to find the button, subscribe.
They could still PayPal or Venmo us, right?
Well, I was just to let you go.
No, look, I don't know about Venmo. Venmo's kind of crazy. Every time I go to sign into Venmo, it's like they want triple ID and a passport. But PayPal seems to still work. And if you want me to get pants, I'm not wearing pants now, you could PayPal me in the pants department and I could get pants. And also Hunley could get a new wheelchair because the one that he's in now runs on batteries and the battery pack runs out after a while lithium. But with me, we can go and find the Mothman in September in West Virginia, which is really what I want to do is go to West Virginia and look for the Mothman. Hopefully,
he's eluded us so far. I mean,
he knows we're coming for him, so we need some travel money for bed and board to get the Mothman. We're going to be hopefully dressed as Mothman, trying to lure him in. Hunley will be the bait, obviously. He'll be dressed as a female moth woman. Is that how they say it? Moth woman, or Mothman or moth person,
or would it be a she moth?
No, it's a moth person. I'm sorry. Hunley's going to be dressed as a moth person. And I'm going to be trying to film it from behind Hunley. Hunley will be tethered, of course. He's not going to just be dragged out into the woods by the Mothman or taken up into the air. We are going to tether Hunley, but we need funding for that operation. I can only urge, if you have the ability to do it, I urge you to do it. And forget about those kids in Botswana. They're not going to make it. Hunley and I need your support.
Mark needs to buy the books so you don't have to read them.
I need to buy all these books on George de Mohrenschildt, which are, if you looked at the prices of these books, by the way, I put up a lot of PDFs of some books. I would really download those books if I were you. I'll try to put up some more, but there's some rare. I just want to say this. A lot of people who, when we get into this, the JFK stuff, they have read the most recent books. And just so you know, the older the books are, the more accurate they are. The books from the original few years coming out, the Mark Lanes, the Sylvia Meagers, those books, the original gangsters, are a lot better than a guy who wrote a book last week about Tippett being from Mars. You know what I mean? Like, just in terms of general veracity, the older the book, the closer it is to the incident, and the closer it is to the original.
It's like police reports and things of that sort.
Right,
Usually,
but I'm saying to sell a
when you're-
book nowadays, when you go to the publisher, but they go, well, what's new? Well, I have evidence that Kennedy did acid with the Beatles and that, Tippett was snorting coke off of Kennedy's corpse, to make a book deal. You've got to come up with some cockamamie thing, which is what we were getting at last week with the Fraser book, that just came out. The Fraser book goes on and on and on. And then there's one page where he says, I saw a guy take the rifle and put it in the trunk of his car. And he's obviously full of shit. He doesn't even go into any detail about it. And then he said he looked out the window of his own house and there was a different guy with a rifle. He had to come up with those two things to sell that book. And also he had some name recognition as Buell Wesley Fraser. But that's what I'm trying to say. The original books are now out of print and very expensive. So I'm trying to put up as many PDFs of the original works for the American people.
Yeah, and it gets it out there. So
it gets it out there.
It keeps it in memory.
Yeah, there's one with George Hickey Jr. We're going to get into the Secret Service in an episode. Did the Secret Service kill JFK? Secret Service is involved in this thing up to their necks, a couple of them, and we're going to get into it. But there's also a book called Mortal Era that says he stands up in the second car. This guy George Hickey stands up with an AR-15 in broad daylight and blows Kennedy's head off.
Oh, that's your favorite Aussie book.
That's my favorite Aussie. Yeah. So that book, which was written 10 years ago, it's just insane. It's just insane. And yet there's people who will come into the comment section and go, dude, what about George Hickey blowing Kennedy's head off with an AR-15 in broad daylight? I don't have time to waste on that. Logging into Locals now. Dickie, way to go. Get in there, bro.
See you there.
Get in there. There's a lot of good stuff in Locals.
Actually,
and doesn't it give you access to the other Locals?
No.
Okay.
And people can follow anybody that they want on Locals.
Right.
But to support each channel is supported on its own as a
Separately.
community.
Okay. I just want
Now we do put a lot up on Locals that is not behind the paywall. So you have paywall items and then you have non-paywall items. We kind of we mix it up a little bit. Some things, yes, they are on the paywall. We're looking for support. It's $5 a month, 60 or 50 a year.
Right.
But then there are a lot of things we put out there that we're just finding for you or sharing. It's not
right. I mean, a lot of the stuff's coming out of my archive. So I mean, we're trying to put that behind the paywall if possible. So every lunatic in the nation doesn't get their hands on it, but I guess if they read my book on rehabs, that's okay.
Well, no, that's behind the paywall.
Right. That's what I mean. Yeah. I don't want to put that on the other side of the paywall, the non-pay wall.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. Okay. I just
all right. So Friday we have George.
Friday. We're going to do George DeMore and Chill to give me a couple of days. It takes a few days to get up to speed on these cats. But we'll do George DeMore and Chill. There's a lot of, I think there's video on DeMore and Chill being interviewed, right? I'll find some for you and his wife. And there's a part in the story where he goes to Haiti that a lot of people do not understand, and his connection to George Herbert Walker Bush will be explored too for people who are into Bush and the assassination. This is your time to shine with George DeMore and Chill, because they were friends and strange bedfellows.
I don't know if we're going to do Killdozer.
What's Killdozer?
Oh, okay.
Oh, I know Killdozer. That's a great story, but it's already been done. Yeah.
Well, it has been done. I think I might have connections to the cops that brought him down.
Oh my God, what a great story! I mean, I don't know if there's anything we could add to it, but holy cow, that story is fantastic.
That's definitely that is that obscure Americana.
Yeah, I love Killdozer. Well, that guy's a genius, mad genius. Bravo, Killdozer. I forget that's what they called him. Is that was his nickname?
Killdozer, yes.
Yeah, that's not the name of the documentary, is it? Or
probably. I mean,
okay. Where was it? Like Aspen, Colorado, or something?
I think so.
Yeah.
Something Colorado.
Something Colorado. Whoa, what a great story! What a genius!
What a maniac!
Yeah, he was a maniac too. He was a killer. He was a mad dog killer with a bulldozer.
All right, so we'll see everybody Friday.
That's it.
Until then, check out Locals, hang out.
What am I going to do until Friday?
Study, research,
study the book. Right.
Pray for PayPal. We'll call it PrayPal.